Well, hello, good afternoon. My name is Paulette Chappelle, and I'm the Public Information Officer and Law Enforcement Coordinator for the U.S. Attorney's Office. Thank you for being here today, and if you have not done so already, please silence your cell phones. This afternoon, you will hear from U.S. Attorney Jonathan D. Ross, and also you will be able to hear from another federal agency, the Drug Enforcement Administration, and I will let U.S. Attorney Ross introduce the special agent in charge of the DEA's New Orleans Division. Also joining us today are other law enforcement partners, FBI, U.S. Marshals Service, Arkansas State Police, Bryant Police Department, Benton Police Department, Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics, Harris County Sheriff's Office, Houston Police Department, Arkansas State Police, and other law enforcement agencies. Following the remarks, you will be able to ask questions. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to U.S. Attorney Ross.
Good afternoon. We're here today to announce what has become the largest case involving pharmacy burglaries in DEA history. An indictment of 42 defendants who worked together to burglarize over 200 pharmacies across 31 states, including more than 11 pharmacies located right here in the Eastern District of Arkansas. Today's announcement is the second public announcement about this case. In December, we announced phase 1 of Operation #RichOffMeds, in which we informed the public about only burglaries of Arkansas pharmacies by a group of defendants from the 5th Ward in Houston, Texas. We told you then that this investigation would continue, and today we're ready to tell you about the second phase, which has expanded from 20 pharmacies in Arkansas to now over 200 pharmacies across 30 additional states. As we know, the opioid epidemic is still with us. 107,543 Americans died from drug overdose deaths in 2023, of which 81,083 were due to opioids. Theft and illegal distribution of prescription opioid and other scheduled medications fuels the addiction and overdose crisis throughout the United States. And theft and illegal distribution of prescription opioid and other scheduled medications results in millions of dollars in proceeds to criminal organizations perpetuating dangerous criminal activity. This case involves an organized crime ring from the Houston, Texas area that targeted independent, non-chain pharmacies throughout the United States for theft of opioid medications such as oxycodone, hydrocodone, other prescription drugs such as Xanax and Adderall, and promethazine with codeine cough syrup. The perpetrators used the internet to scout out rural pharmacy locations. They traveled by rental car or commercial airlines from Houston to cities coast to coast, where in the early morning hours they would shatter glass at pharmacy locations, low crawl on the floor to evade motion detectors, and systematically remove dangerous opioid, benzodiazepines, promethazine with codeine, and other scheduled medication from the pharmacy shelves. As a result, hundreds of thousands of pills and gallons of promethazine cough syrup were returned and distributed on the streets of Houston, Texas. The street value of the controlled substances stolen in the burglaries is estimated at this time to be $12 million. On November 28th of 2023, the Little Rock DEA, along with numerous state and local law enforcement partners in Houston, Texas, arrested 18 organization members charged in the initial indictment with crimes committed here in the Eastern District of Arkansas. And on July 2nd of this year, a superseding indictment was returned by the grand jury in the Eastern District of Arkansas, charging 24 additional defendants in the conspiracy to distribute controlled substances for acts that occurred nationwide. Most of these defendants are appearing in U.S. District Court here in Little Rock this afternoon, and the remaining defendants will appear in September. During the arrest operations in Houston, law enforcement seized 11 firearms, approximately $79,000 in U.S. currency, and custom jewelry retailing at approximately $510,000, which are proceeds from the sale of stolen pharmaceutical drugs. This indictment is the result of countless hours and remarkable work by the DEA Pharmaceutical Diversion Team here in Little Rock, and a testament to their cooperation with federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies throughout the country. This effort is part of an organized crime, drug, and enforcement task force that identifies, disrupts, and dismantles the highest level criminal organizations that threaten the United States. Special acknowledgement to our lead investigators at the DEA on this case, DEA diversion investigators Eli Folks and Matt Bissonette. We want to thank you also to numerous people here in attendance, and also some who could not be here in attendance today. We've got the special agent in charge of the New Orleans Field Division, Stephen Hofer, the DEA Diversion Program Manager out of New Orleans, Connie Overton, out of our DEA Little Rock District Office, Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Jared Harper, Diversion Group Supervisor, Irvin Reeves, from the U.S. Marshal's Office, Deputy United States Marshal, Jeremy Hammonds, from Arkansas State Police, Colonel Mike Hager, Major Stacy Rhodes, and Trooper Stephen Briggs. We also have representatives from the Bryant Police Department, the Benton Police Department, to include Chief Scotty Hodges, the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics, Agent Nicholas Chafin, and also representatives of the Houston Police Department, as well as the Bryant Police Department, which I already said. I want to also say that an investigation and indictment of this kind represents the best results of cooperation and collaboration by law enforcement personnel and prosecutors working within the appropriate oversight from the judicial branch. It continues to be the mission of the United States Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Arkansas to disrupt organized criminal networks and to protect the public from the unlawful distribution of dangerous narcotics. And because of the phase that we are in at this time, I must remind the public that an indictment is merely an allegation. All defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. And with that, I will introduce you to Special Agent in Charge from the New Orleans Field Division, which covers the Little Rock area, the entire Arkansas area, Special Agent in Charge Stephen Hofer.
Thank you. As mentioned, I'm Special Agent in Charge Stephen Hofer for the New Orleans Division of the Drug Enforcement Administration. I'm honored to be here today from New Orleans as our representative for our 4 states, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Arkansas. I've worked as a special agent for more than 20 years, and what I found is that every day in every single DEA office across the country, both special agents and diversion investigators work complex cases just like this one. And today, I could not be more pleased to recognize the amazing work that originated with the diversion investigators right here in Little Rock. DEA Diversion's Control Division is full of investigators that regulate how controlled pharmaceuticals are distributed. And sometimes they find out that criminal behavior interferes with that process. Today's announcement marks a significant victory in the ongoing fight against criminal drug trafficking organizations that cause this interference, because this is the largest pharmaceutical burglary case in DEA history. This was an investigation that spanned nearly 3 years. It was complex, and it highlights the great work happening in DEA across all of our offices in the country, especially right here in Little Rock. Today's announcement would not be possible without the help of our distinguished law enforcement partners at the state, local, and federal level. Through this extensive teamwork and the DEA's investigative efforts, we were able to link this drug trafficking organization to more than 200 pharmacy burglaries across 31 states. As you've heard, this case focuses on legitimate medications being stolen and sold for illegitimate purposes. I realize that you may be used to us at DEA talking about illegal drugs such as fentanyl and methamphetamine, but this case is just as dangerous, profitable, and important. When these stolen medications fall into the wrong hands, they are just as threatening to our community because of their potential for misuse and abuse. This organization sought to sell these stolen pharmaceuticals in the same way criminals traffic fentanyl and methamphetamine in our neighborhoods. In this case, criminals stole and sold on the streets oxycodone, hydrocodone, Xanax, Adderall, promethazine with codeine, and other drugs that can be dangerous when they're in the wrong hands and taken outside their intended use. DEA has seen a surge in burglaries of controlled substances at independent, non-chain pharmacies across the country. Last year alone, 900 burglaries were reported. As a result, pharmacies lost almost 3.8 million doses of controlled substances. This equates to more than $12 million in profits. This criminal organization prioritized money and greed over the safety and well-being of the American people. Millions of Americans rely on their prescription medications every day. And when those drugs are not available, the well-being of our communities suffer. These criminal groups wreaked havoc in the local communities to bring easy money into their organizations. In closing, let today's announcement serve as an important reminder for anyone thinking about committing one of these crimes. The safety and health of the American people is DEA's top priority, and we will not tolerate anyone who puts money ahead of the community well-being. Thank you.
Thank you, U.S. Attorney Ross and Zach Hofer. At this time, we will open the floor for questions, but prior to opening the floor for questions, I do want to remind you that other than the press release and the indictment that you have been provided, at this time, we are not able to share any other documents or other material with you. So do we have any questions for U.S. Attorney Ross or Zach Hofer? Yes.
How many pharmacies in Arkansas are believed to have been broken into last year?
20.
20 total?
13 in the Eastern District and the rest are in the Western District.
I don't guess you're able to give any specifics on which pharmacies in Arkansas.
Not at this time. Any other questions? No more questions. We want to thank you so much for coming out today. And I'm available after this press conference. U.S. Attorney Ross is available, as well as Zach Hofer, if you would like to speak with one of them at the end of this press conference. Thank you very much. Have a good day. And all those that have the visitors badges, you can just leave them on the table, and I'll pick them up, and that'll save you a trip from going back to the 5th floor to return them to the receptionist. So thank you very much.